Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 320.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Welcome back to the channel. And this week's Keto Beyond the Couch, if you have not figured it out yet, is taped. It's pre-recorded. So when you're watching this, I will be in Texas.
And I will be in Florida. I'm going to miss you. Hey, editing Joe, future Joe, I miss you. I know I'm going to miss you.
You're not going to miss me. You're so glad I'm leaving for a week.
That is not true. I am looking forward to some exciting, fun things this week, but I will truly miss you.
So I'm actually heading off to Texas. We're recording this on Thursday. I'm heading out to Texas with our RV tomorrow morning, so that I can go to the Big Beard Battery Solar Clinic.
Yay!
So Big Beard Battery is a company that we work with on our RV channel. If you didn't know, we have an RV camping channel. It's called Two Crazy Campers. There's a link for it down below. Yes, we are crazy because we run 3 different YouTube channels. We have our keto channel, our main channel, our camping channel, and we also have a homesteading channel, which is the Double K Farm channel. But we're going there, or I'm going there, to basically learn about their solar clinic. So if you have an RV, or if you want to know about solar, one of the things with solar is, yes, the batteries and the stuff is expensive, although the price of lithium batteries has come way down.
Significantly.
Where a 100 amp hour battery used to cost $1,000, and now you can get one for like $200. Cheaper than lead acid batteries, which are old technology and unsafe. They explode, catch fire, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, the installation is generally what's very expensive, like $8,000 to $10,000 for installation. Well, Big Beard Battery has this thing now where you can go to their facility and they will teach you how to do your own installation for a fraction of the cost. It's like less than $2,000, but you will do your own installation with their guidance. They're going to walk you through, teach you how the system works, teach you how to install it. So now you have your own personal knowledge and you get to use all of their tools. You get to, use their garage. So like one of the things with solar is like you have to have special crimping tools and things like that. You don't have to do that. If you want to do your installation, you just go to them and you do it yourself, but use all their tools. So we're super excited to be able to partner with them on this. And I am looking forward to taking the RV to Texas. I'm not looking forward to an 18-hour drive without Rachel.
I think there's going to be a lot of podcasts in your future. I think that you're going to complete a few Audible books. I was just going to say before we move on that it's really cool to have a program like this, particularly for somebody who's a hands-on learner like you are.
Yes.
So
I don't learn by reading. I learn by doing.
For you to understand why things do what they do, it really means that like moving forward, you can continue to be a good steward of the system itself, because you know what all the nuts and bolts of what put it together.
The best part about the whole thing is that Todd eats a mostly ketogenic carnivore lifestyle, and we are finishing up the week with a brisket finale.
Wow, I'm gonna miss that.
Texas brisket.
In Texas.
Super excited about that. So yeah, we're not live this week, but if you are new here, this is Keto Beyond the Couch. Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. because we are all about community and we want to celebrate our community. We ask you all the time, please share your story. Your story is very important. Not only to help you remember where you have come from,
right?
And I tell you, I need that reminder. Sometimes I look back at old photos or look at back where we were 7 years ago, and I forgot how heavy I was, the medical issues I had. I look at even this house, if you're watching our farm channel, as I'm editing videos on what this house looked like just 7 months ago. Even though we're not done, when I watch them now, I'm like, but we have come so far.
Exactly. But you forget.
But your story is more important than just for you. It also helps other people to realize they are not alone. You need community. Whether you have people in your personal life that support you or not, you need community. And that's why we ask you to share your story. Because somebody's going to see your story and be like, oh, Somebody else understands what I'm going through.
I cannot tell you what a blessing it is daily in our life, in my life, for me. I won't speak for you, Joe, but to know that what was heartache for so many years, what was pain and inflammation for so many years, what was a mess has now become my message. And to see this come to fruition, to see the whole story and see that, yeah, like there was despair, there were years and years of frustration, but I've lived through it. And now to be able to cheer for other people as they are walking into victory through even some hard times, it really just is, it's just incredible. So when you're sharing your story, you really are helping someone else see the possibilities, have their eyes open to good things, positive things, optimistic things that are happening in their life.
Yeah, and when we started Two Crazy Ketos a lot of years ago, what was it, 2018 when we started this channel, we talk about how it was kind of a joke, but it quickly became this mission of creating community, because community is so important. And so that's why we do this, because it's all about fostering that community so that we can have some support. And that's why we love going to meetups and stuff. I mean, you're going to a meetup this Sunday.
May 3rd.
Or Saturday, where,
next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Where, you can just see people getting together. So please, head over to our Mighty Networks group. It's members.twocrazyketos.com. It is completely free. And in there, you can have community, and make sure you share your story. The other thing about community that we like to do is just vacation together, just hang out together. And I wanted to mention that we still have some cabins available for the 2KK birthday cruise, which is this year in December. So we actually have two cruises, December 4th through the 8th, and then the 8th through, I forget the date, 5 days. It's like the 8th through the 12th, I believe it is, something like that. But all the information is down below. And so here it is. It's
13th.
8th through the 13th. And one of the things that we're doing is we're celebrating my 55th birthday on this, but it's just about hanging out. So we still have some cabins left over, including a few ocean view balconies where if you do both of them, you can stay in the same cabin. So if you're interested, use the link down below and go ahead and sign up. You can put down your deposit. The final payment's not due until September. It is a refundable deposit right now up until then. And so we would love to just sail away with our community and our friends. If you're curious about it, head over to our Mighty Networks group, go to the cruise group and ask people who have been on them what they think about it. This is not a moneymaker for us. This is a community event. Whatever the cruise costs, we've arranged for a very good group cruise rate. That's what you pay. There's no like extra $200 fee or anything like that tacked on it. This is just about us hanging out with our community.
This is not for us. This is not even like you getting to spend time with us. We are not the draw. Right. We are just facilitating this opportunity for community. And I'm going to challenge you. If you are lonely, if you are having a hard time celebrating your success, if you're like, I wish that I knew some people better, I need friends. We were talking to somebody earlier this morning over coffee and talking about how as you get well in your life, you're eating a keto diet, a carnivore diet, you're having so much wellness, you feel good in your body and you are ready to join the world. It doesn't mean that socially that you're ready. It can still be scary to put yourself out there, to make friends. We didn't know how to make friends. We didn't know like who to feel safe with as far as like, sharing our story with, celebrating our success. I'm going to tell you that these Two Crazy Ketos cruises are magical. Yeah. They're magical because they give people the precious gift of time with each other, where you can really share, you can talk. Sometimes, there's laughter and sometimes there's tears as people share like their life with one another.
I look forward to it, and when I came up with this idea a couple years ago, Rachel thought I was crazy. Now
I did.
We really look forward to it, and there's no speakers or anything like that. This is just about hanging out. We get a conference room to do things, and our community, you guys, arrange activities, and you don't have to do them. It's there if you want to do it, or you can just be like, I'm going off on my own. You can also bring your non-keto family and friends.
Because there's no keto police.
Because there's no keto police. So enough about the cruise. If you're interested, use the link down below. We've got some other exciting news that we'll be talking about on Thursday's live stream, both tonight and then again next Thursday. You can always go back and watch the stream after you see this if you miss it. Our Thursday night live streams, which are on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Next week we will do it, except for we're going to do it remotely. We're going to be in 2 different places. So hopefully everything will work well. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell notification for when that goes live. Let's go ahead and jump right in. And we're going to start off with this one from Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
So Debbie said, this is hard to do, but, and she said, being still and quiet for a few minutes a day gives your mind a break from input. That break creates space in your thinking, which allows you to hear your own voice and get back in tune with your inner compass.
Wow, that is so important. I got to tell you, your head can spin with all of the ways that you're trying to create a better life for yourself. Whether it is diving into like, what macros do I need? How much sunlight should I, be engaged in? Like all of the work that you're doing to get better sleep, all of the work that you're doing to get more movement in. Man, it's a lot. It is a lot to process. And it is amazing sometimes what just taking 5 or 10 minutes, just sitting down somewhere quiet and just resting your mind
and it
altogether
helps to de-stress you.
It really does.
A lot of people will ask, like, I don't understand why the scale's not moving. Why am I not losing weight? I'm eating perfectly. My diet is on point, which I think we can always work on things a little bit here and there. But even if your diet is 100% perfect,
you're in the zone.
You're in the zone, right? If you're not managing other areas of your life, it's not going to work. What you put in your mouth is only 80% of your health. It's a big portion of your health. But if you handle that perfectly, so if that 80% you are 100% perfect, which none of us are.
No.
You still have another 20%, and that 20% is comprised of sleep, movement, and stress management. And if we can't get a handle on those 3 things, as great as our diet is, we're never going to get to where we want to go, because that's the other part, even though it's only 20%, is very integral. And I have learned that firsthand. When we first moved to this farm, if you go back and watch videos of us when we first moved to this farm, our diet had not changed at all.
If
our
anything,
diet
it was cleaner.
has not changed in 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we go up and down with how much meat we eat or vegetables, or maybe having some keto treats here and there, a little bit more, a little bit less. But our diet had not changed at all, but our weight went up. If you look at inflammation in our body, the only difference was stress. We were stressed with selling our old house and moving into this house, and oh my gosh, look at all the work. And as we learn to deal with that stress without changing any other part of our eating lifestyle, as we manage that stress, the weight poured off. So what Debbie's talking about there is we have to get a handle, take those 5 or 10 minutes every single day and just de-stress ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is from Terry.
Hey, Terry D.
And I am going to say that this was actually not in our Facebook group, but Terry did tag us in it.
You stole it?
I feel like I had the right to kind of commandeer it from her personal Facebook because she did tag us in it.
Okay.
And it's an amazing story.
It is. So today is my 7th anniversary adopting the ketogenic lifestyle. I owe my initial thank you to my brother Joseph, who told me about this eating plan and offered to send me a flash flash drive of a keto summit as long as I really promise to use it and get going. I love that. I have taken control of my health, even though there have definitely been some bumps along the road. This is not a diet, and in fact, the scale is a liar. If weight loss was the only indication of my success, I would have to call my journey a failure. In 7 years, there's been a weight loss of 70 to 75 pounds. Yes, I fluctuate a good 5 pounds and still have to really work on keeping inflammation down. And yes, it is true that my average weight loss over 84 months is not even a pound per month. And my medical charts still show me in the obese category. I'm not always perfect at making food choices and have a long way to go in good stress management strategies, getting enough sleep, etc. With all that said, I have come a long way in 7 years, and I am very thankful to God and my keto community. A special shout out to Two Crazy Ketos and all my other keto pals who have supported me through the challenging times that do come up.
Now I have to show you this picture because she's like, oh, the weight loss.
The scale is a liar. Look at that. Look at the size difference. When you're talking about, well, it's like 70, 75 pounds, like whatever the number is on the scale, Terry looks amazing, like freaking amazing, just glowing with good health.
And I'm not going to share it here. I'm going to let Terry do that. But it isn't only about the scale. Terry has had a lot of other health improvements, and I encourage you, reach out to her and ask her about her other health improvements, her brain health. I mean, because she does have an amazing story, and that's why Terry is so precious in this community. And if you're up in that northern New York area,
yes, there's meetups there.
There are meetups up there that, Terry and Trish and people have up there. And it's really important for everybody to get together.
Now, I'm going to say one of the most beautiful things when I look at Terry in her after photo that she shared is the thought that I remember when she wore that dress. We were on the 2KK cruise. It was the night on the 2KK cruise, we were trying to be like every day is a different like color to wear. And I thought, who is going to find an orange outfit for dinner that's going to be cute? Well, she nailed it. I mean, it's such a beautiful dress, and she looked so stunning, but also the confidence, like you see that arm on the hip, just knowing I have come so far. And I felt very grateful to know that I was with her that day when she took that photo. And that is the power of community, that it's not just that we get the blessing of getting to celebrate somebody who's had such tremendous, success, but we get to be alongside people in their presence in this community. And I love that.
Next one we have is from Erin.
Hey, Erin.
It's great having people to talk with on the same page and see the light. I don't force it on anyone, but support is key. It is hurtful when the people you want most to support you aren't there. Mm-hmm. Not just talking about in my house, still staying strong. No cheating this weekend, just feeling defeated, which I think stinks because I am having positive results. I
am so sorry that you're going through that. And I do understand that when we think about celebration, we think about having a party for success and sharing joy and laughter. You think about your party table and you've got an idea of who you'd like around that party table, right? You're thinking the people closest to you. Maybe it's family members, maybe it's friends that you've known for a long time, maybe it's a coworker, maybe you'd like to see, doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals that have been alongside of you when you've been going through some, health scares, to be around that table celebrating what you're doing. And then when it's time to celebrate because you do have success, those people don't seem to be gathering around that party table. I'm going to tell you, lean into the people here in the keto community when it comes to celebrating that success, because you will get depressed if you think, man, I'm so let down because the people I thought that would be here cheering, they're not here. There are people who want to cheer for you. We may not be your first pick, but we want to cheer you nonetheless. And I think about that when it comes to sharing your keto lifestyle. If you've had a measure of success, you want to help the people in your life also change their lives and turn their lives around, and they may not be ready for it. So I'm going to encourage you that there are people that are in this keto community and they're ready for somebody to be willing to take time to mentor them and to share, their celebration with them.
Next one we have is from Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, everyone. It has been a while since life is crazy. I need to vent. My mom is in the hospital and days away from having to start dialysis.
I'm sorry.
I've been trying to get her to go keto for 2 years, and she said she was too lazy. I told her that if she had listened to me, she might not have to start dialysis. She said she would ask her doctor. And as you were just talking about, sometimes people just aren't ready.
Yeah.
And there's literally nothing that we can do about that other than be the light, and that when they are ready, that they can lean on us.
Right. And man, this has been a challenge for both Joe and I, as we have lost our fathers. Both of us have lost our fathers to illnesses that I believe keto could have had a positive impact on. And so there's so much like regret that you're like, oh man, if only you could just drown in if only, right? If only I could get into a time machine and like force feed my dad, like we would not have had the outcome, right, that we had. What I know is I can't change those circumstances, and I don't know that I could have ever like implored him to start keto. What I do know is that there are other people's dads that I can speak into the lives of. And so I am going to do what I can do to help them. Maybe we can't save those people closest to us, and maybe they're just not interested in adopting a keto lifestyle, but there are people who are ready to listen. And again, we're always pointing back to community. How many times have maybe like if when you were raising children, you almost felt like you had more influence over your friends' kids than you did over your own kids? Because
I still feel that way.
Right? So there'll be people, there's so many times our kids' friends will ask us for advice. I want to give the advice to my children, right? But whoever is willing to lean in, whoever wants to learn from our experience, the wisdom that we've gained through, hard, tough experience, that's the person that we're just going to have to share wisdom with, right? And then trust with a hopeful expectation of good things, that while I am helping somebody that's in someone else's family, someone is going to help my kids. There's going to be somebody that reaches my children, that reaches my extended family. Maybe it's not going to be me, but it's going to be somebody. Yeah. And I'm going to be thankful for that. I don't have to be the person that's right in their life.
We will do whatever we have to do that is legal and morally ethical.
Right.
To help people improve their health journey. And that's why we do get so many messages from people. I can't believe you endorse products with sucralose. I can't believe that you're okay and you'll eat a Quest cup once in a while. And our thing is, listen, if that's what it takes for somebody
get in the door,
leave the standard American diet, I'm okay with it. Is things like Quest cups and different keto packaged products in the store the best thing in the world? No, the best thing in the world would to be a totally whole foods diet, only meat and some vegetables, and that's it. No artificial sweeteners, no natural sweeteners, no honey, no, stevia, none of that stuff. That would be the best thing. But that's not sustainable for a lot of people. So if somebody comes over from the standard American diet eating 300 to 500 carbohydrates a day and eating 45 to 60 grams of sugar a day, and they come over and they start eating a ketogenic lifestyle and drop themselves to 40 or 50 carbs, and they're eating a couple of packaged products or a packaged product a day, they're still better off than they were before, and then their diet will slowly improve. So yes, we will say that these things are good. You may not use them forever. When I got started on keto, we ate mug cakes every single day.
Yeah.
We ate a lot of that kind of stuff.
Fat bombs.
Because it made it sustainable for us. Now, our diet is like 95% meat. We eat vegetables when we go out to eat, or if I want to eat jalapeno poppers. But it's still important to make it sustainable. And we will do whatever we have to do to help people to realize that what Big Pharma and Big Food push is wrong.
Clearly, I am not afraid to make a fool out of myself.
Yeah.
I think that people's lives are worth it.
Next one is from Linda.
Hey, Linda. A year ago, on Joe's suggestion to everyone who had stalled on weight loss was to do a reverse diet, to start adding more protein and fat, which I have done. I went from 1 meal a day back to 2 meals a day, eating more protein and fat. My weight loss is still not budging. And now on top of everything else, because life, I broke a little bone in my foot from my very active job as a lunch lady in a 2-person kitchen. Now I'm on leave until May, when x-rays will be taken again to see if or when I can go back to work before summer break. In the meantime, all my functional fitness that I had planned to do in yard work and climbing a ladder to the attic to clean up a mess from squirrels can't be done for a while. I've been doing Pilates 3 times a week because stretching was encouraged, but I have to keep my foot elevated, and now my weight really isn't moving. I'll be 63 in June, and I'm getting tired of the fight. Should I cut my protein and fat and some vegetables back because I'm not moving as much? Thank you in advance.
Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, I'm very sorry about your foot.
Yeah.
Number 2, I understand you're frustrated because the weight's not going off, okay? And unless I'm reading this wrong, the weight may be going down, but it's not going up. You're saying I have increased my fat and my protein, and the weight's not coming off. You're saying you went from 1 meal a day to 2 meals a day, and the weight's not coming off. So you increased the amount of food you were eating, but you're not gaining. You're just not losing, but you're not gaining. That is a win. It could be you still need to increase it more. Without us actually talking, it'd be hard for me to really give you suggestions. But here's the thing. Number 1, if I'm coaching you based just on what you said right here, should you be cutting your fat and protein? Absolutely not. Because again, right now, you're not gaining. More importantly, the number 1 thing you need to do is heal.
Yes.
That is number 1. Dr. Berry talks about this a lot. Sometimes we need to have patience. Rachel was in a stall for 2 years because there could be other things, as we already talked about, there could be other things going on, and that no matter how good your diet is, if you're not addressing the sleep and the stress management and the movement, then it's not going to work right. You have to address those things. And movement, Pilates is great for stretching. It's good for, overall health. But we need to work on building muscle.
Right.
Okay?
Even
you're
if it's
63 years old.
Even if it's upper body to start with now, if you're like, I can't do lower body things, you can still sit in a chair and do upper body things. Yeah.
At 63 years old, once you hit the age of 50, you're going to lose 1% of your muscle mass every single year. The muscle mass is what determines our metabolism. So we have to do everything we can to preserve that muscle mass. So how do we do that? Making sure we're eating enough protein, and also making sure we're doing some strength exercises. Even if it's not building muscle, it's working on our muscle. Doing functional fitness, doing things like even if you're only sitting down, getting just like a broomstick or a piece of PVC pipe and doing this. Okay, things to work your muscle, sitting in the chair, lifting milk jugs filled with water, anything like that. Different things to at least keep the muscles that we have going. You also have to look at your stress. So those are the things before you start cutting, which might help the scale move, but it is a short-term solution because again, if we cut it down and then we're not increasing our activity level, within 3-4 weeks, you're going to hit a stall, and then you go back to right where you were. You're not eating enough. When I recommend reverse diets to people, my goal is to have you reverse diet. Even as a woman, you should get yourself up to about 2,200 to 2,400 calories before we consider cutting. So you get yourself up there. We stay there for 4 to 8 weeks at that higher caloric intake, that higher fat and grams of protein intake. Then we start cutting back, and we only cut back a little bit.
Teensy weensy.
The biggest mistake that people make when they're trying to lose weight, whether it's on keto or even a regular diet, is following a calculator. And one of the questions that every single macro calculator I've ever seen
How fast
ask,
do you want to use
how
it?
fast do you want to lose the weight? Well, as fast as possible.
Tomorrow.
And so they slash their caloric intake by 30%. And yes, you see some results in the first couple of weeks. But then when your metabolism catches up to that and you hit that stall, where do you go?
Heartache.
So now Rachel lowered herself all the way down to 500 calories a day.
And I gained.
And then she gained weight.
I gained weight. And there's this, you've mocked yourself into a corner, and there's just so much heartache in that, because I can't drop the calories any lower. I can't. I cannot do that thing.
You're going to get to a point where no matter how much you drop it, you will not lose weight.
Because again, you're trying to outfox your body. And if your body believes you're going to take everything away from me, I don't trust you anymore to feed me regularly. I can tell that you are obviously in some sort of a famine season. And so you know what? I am going to hold on to every single thing you give me and not let anything go, because I want to survive. I want to survive. And so unfortunately, like, we've got to work with our body, even though we're trying to work against it a lot.
So there may be other things going on, and I would encourage you to maybe book a coaching call with us or somebody else. Sure. It doesn't even have to be us. But let's dive deep into what's going on and also really analyze, what are you eating? And that's something that you might want to consider. Next one is from Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. Ever since my mom went into end-stage kidney failure and began dialysis over a year ago, mealtime has been a challenge. Her taste buds have been affected. So many foods she used to enjoy, she can no longer tolerate. In recent weeks, I've completely taken over cooking the dinner meal for her and my grandma, and I have had her on the website for the American Diabetes Society, going through recipes so we can try some new things. There have been several winners so far. I am grateful for what Dr. Berry and the others are doing to help reverse type 2 diabetes, and I know any meal I pull from that website can be given to her with confidence. Because again, this is not the American Diabetes Association. This is the American Diabetes Society we're talking about today. Tonight was the crustless pizza. My mom isn't keto, but I have greatly reduced her carbs, and her A1C went from 7 in January to 6 this month. So we are making progress. That is awesome.
And here's the thing. Number one, be proud of yourself.
Yes.
Number two, a lot of times keto's got a stigma. And you're in a perfect situation, Michelle, where you're in control of the diet.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell her it's keto.
No.
Just give her a
dinner.
Food. It's rare that you're going to give somebody a whole bunch of bacon and cheese and burgers and everything else,
pizza,
and have them go, this is gross. Because keto is full of fat.
Right.
And fat is flavor. You know, I was talking to somebody at church on Easter, and they were like, I'm trying to get my husband to do keto. And I'm like, just tell them they can eat all the bacon they want.
Right.
Like, what guy, unless there's a religious reason, isn't excited about eating a pound of bacon in a day? Right? I mean, so you're on the right track, and she's picking out food that she really likes. But the other thing is you're saying her A1C went from a 7 to a 6 in 4 months. There is no medication on earth that I am aware of that can do that.
Well, and that's in the midst of the treatments that she's receiving. So you are giving your mom her very best chance.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Next one is from Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Did wall squats yesterday. Today was 2 hours of hedge trimming and cutting palm fronds, then lugging the debris to the dumpster. So arms and legs today.
Exactly.
This is it. You don't have to go to a gym. I don't go to a gym. I hate the gym. I'm not saying that you can't go to the gym. I just don't like to go to the gym. And there's nothing appealing about sitting there and just working a bunch of machines. Finding things you like to do that will work your muscles, or even things that maybe you don't like to do, but that have to be done. And to be able to go, and I mean, Robin has come a long way to be able to get out there as you improve your health and start hedge trimming and cutting palm fronds and carrying things to the dumpster. We have a video from years ago of Where we
cutting
would
down the
have
trees.
hired a tree guy, we did it all ourselves.
Well, and that gets me excited. So I am somebody who's very thrifty. I like to save money, and it was enough for me. It doesn't matter that we live in South Florida. It was really hot that day. It was worth it to me to get out there and get in that functional fitness because I knew that I saved hundreds of dollars by doing the job myself. And I got a lot of personal satisfaction in being able to do it.
Next one is from Pat.
Hey Pat, keto carnivore is not a diet, it's a lifestyle. We definitely need to always eat on the proper human diet spectrum, but I don't want anyone else to get these messages twisted in their head and to make the mistake I did, which was eating bargain basement macros as a lifestyle. The messages that got twisted in my head were completely my fault. After dieting for a lifetime and keto finally working, it was easy to think that keto harder must be the solution when the stall hit. I remember thinking when I would hear Joe say that no one should be eating less than quantities that were more than I was eating, that he just doesn't know how broken and under-muscled I am. Any restriction must have an end date, and then we need to reverse macros up slowly to avoid gaining and allow our bodies to live in abundance to get the satiety signals that our body needs to actually build muscle and or release fat rather than downregulate all metabolic processes. Another way to think about this is to help get the mind straight is building an amazing house. You can't build a house without enough quality materials. You need both quality bricks and wood and fixtures. You also need enough of it.
Can't say it any better than myself.
I mean, that is absolutely amazing. That's brilliant. That's exactly it. Because, it was so funny. We are removing carpet over at my mom's house and going to put in some wood floors. And so obviously we ripped up the carpet and we're like, what are we dealing with? Because a lot of times a new home builder might put carpet down as like a way to cover up imperfections in the floor. And one of the things that we noticed was there isn't enough floor. There's not enough cement over by like her sliding glass doors. And he's going to have to build that up, fill in that spot that is void in order for him to have something to build that wood floor upon. Just like Pat is kind of referencing, you need quality materials and you need enough of them to get that house built.
Yeah. Next one we have is from Sean.
Hey, Sean. Ooh.
Here is one way to make sure you never crave those marshmallow peeps again.
Oh,
just think of these bad boys.
I seriously just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
But you love sardines.
Oh my gosh. But no, there is things that's like, if the texture does not meet your like expectation for that flavor, it could be something that's very tasty. But it's like, oh, nope, you're coming out in the wrong texture, so none for me. And sardines, I mean, yes, I like sardines, but like, let's be honest, I like them fried in beef tallow and butter, and I mean, it's not in peep form.
Let's take a quick break.
And we're back.
Okay, next one we have is from Donna.
Hey, Donna.
How do you know that your chickens pass from heart attacks? So she's referring to our vlog for processing day. Rachel's first processing day. Well, mine first processing day do on multiple chickens. And the reason we're pretty sure they died of heart attacks is because we raised something called Cornish cross chickens, which have a high mortality rate beyond 6 weeks. They're literally genetically bred to be ready to butcher in 6 to 8 weeks. So to go from a day-old chick to before you butchered about a 6 to 8 pound bird and a 6 to 7 pound bird in just 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, they literally grow that fast. And what happens is they grow so fast, their organs can't keep up with them. So they do have, like from 6 weeks and beyond, they have a mortality rate of about 20%. And it is even worse in factory farming situations. Sure. If you go, there are videos of like where literally as they go through just like dead, because they just eat. And if you keep giving them food, they will literally eat themselves to a heart attack. Kind of like us, I guess.
Yeah, with no shut off.
So, they were about a week past processing day. They were about 7.5 weeks old. And their feed didn't get restricted enough, and it is just something we're not going to raise them on our next batch. It is just something they say that you're going to get quick giant breasts. You're going to get a quick turnaround, less cost to raise them, less cost on feed.
But they're not pets.
But you are coming with into this knowing that you're going to have some dead loss, as opposed to some of the other breeds of meat chickens where they're going to take 10 to 12 weeks. They don't have that mortality rate, but you've got to feed them for 2 to 4 more weeks, which makes them cost more money for you as a farmer.
I understand that's why factory farmers usually use that particular breed. Because you can count on it.
It's cheaper to raise them.
It's very quick, and their breasts are enormous.
I mean, our average chicken was over 6 pounds.
But we're not in a hurry. And we want the animals to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And so honestly, it was, they're just growing, and we have them in the best circumstances. Fresh grass every single day. They're constantly being moved so that they are never like staying in their own poop or everything is just, it's nice circumstances. And we were even raising them in the coolest temperatures of our year here in Florida. And it was hard to even see them moving around because
they struggled.
It just seemed so laborious to them because they were just so heavy that it just taking, moving walks around. We were even slow in our interactions with them because you don't even want to scare them in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes birds can be flighty. And, we would slowly move to put in the new water, put in food because you just didn't want to even cause them to jump. You're thinking they're going to hurt themselves.
Next one we have is from Jarrett.
Hey, Jarrett.
I recall a video of a recipe for egg loaf with keto chow. I can't find the video. Can you share the recipe and link video, please? I will leave a link for it down below. But it's funny that this was one of the comments because I was thinking about this morning or last night making some for me for my road trip. And so this is the easiest recipe you'll ever find.
It really is.
Okay. 8 eggs. 8 ounces of cream cheese. So 8 eggs, so a dozen eggs, or 8 eggs, and then a block of cream cheese. So 1 egg to 1 ounce of cream cheese.
Right.
And then to a half an ounce of butter. So 8 eggs, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 4 tablespoons of butter. That's all you need. And then throw in a packet of keto chow. And if you like French toast,
oof.
It nails it. It's an egg loaf. You don't need to use the keto chow. The keto chow just helps make it more bread-like and also gives it other flavors. But you can make the same exact recipe without adding any keto chow.
And so let's share it again. It is 8 eggs. 8
a package of cream cheese.
Brick of cream cheese.
And 4 tablespoons of melted butter.
Now, how long? I believe it's 350 degrees.
350 degrees. Usually about 30 minutes, but basically
do that test.
The test, a toothpick test.
Yeah.
And it's test. Super easy. But I'll leave a link for the actual video down below. Next one's from Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
I couldn't find anything on your website about these pork pellets. Are you still using this brand or found a better deal product? I'm searching microwavable pork rinds, but like you said, they have bad ingredients. The ones with good ingredients are expensive for the amount you get. So you used to be able to get them from porkrinds.com, and they came in a little white bag with a blue label, and they were pork pellets. They don't seem to have them anymore.
That makes me sad.
The good news is they were literally sourcing them from the same place that we made that video on. Now, we are not associated at all with porkrinds.com. We tried. They weren't interested.
Not interested in us.
And we're not associated with Rudolph Foods. But Rudolph Foods is basically where most pork rind manufacturers get their pork pellets from.
So you're cutting out the middleman.
So you go to them and they're these hard things and you buy them and then you can fry them, microwave them, air fry them, whatever you want. I don't remember the size of the smallest bag, but whatever it was, I think it was 10 pounds. You're going to have pork pellets.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That is where, pretty much that's where all the pork rinds come from. If you go to different companies and buy pork rinds, if you go to a state fair and they have fresh pork rinds, they're buying that.
They're buying them from them.
There are a couple other companies, but Rudolph Foods is like, they supply a lot of the restaurant places, but they do sell to the public. But you do have to buy 10 pounds of it, and I think it's like $50. But again, you'll have pork rinds forever.
Well, and I'm going to suggest something that we did was make little gift package. Like if you're like, this is just so many and I'm never going to get through this, go ahead and gift them to people. It's a really fun thing that even if you're not keto, it's just a fun experimentation, right? It's really neat. Kids love it when they see something that starts out like really, really tiny, and then, you put it in the air fryer, you fry it, and you just see it like, get super big. And then you can use whatever seasoning you like. Sometimes we just like, Parmesan over top of it, or any type of the Redmond seasoning. I love the chili lime. Like if you're looking for different flavors.
You can coat them with keto chow.
When it is hot, especially, like it just receives the seasoning so nice and fresh, and you can just toss them in that once you've cooked them. It's delicious, but I know you are going to get a big bag. There's such a value by purchasing that way. They're just not going to come to you pretty. They're going to come to you in just a big nondescript plastic bag.
What we did was we divided them up and then
gave them to
sealed
family
them
members
so that we can store for. Now, the one thing that some people have pointed out, well, it says Destress on the package. That's part of the curing process, okay? Every single pork rind you ever have is going to have that, okay? It's just part of the curing process to make the pellets, but it's not something that is affecting you. You're not eating a whole bunch of sugar. It is like, it's part of the curing of that. It's just like bacon. You have to have something in there, and so it's not something to ever concern yourself with. Next one we have is from Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Where can you get large CO2 canisters refilled? I have the adapter, but I can't find somebody to fill it. So if you're talking about like our soda stream, when we lived in the Fort Lauderdale area, we were able to go to like a beer and wine place. A place that like rents out kegs will normally have that. I haven't found any place here, but you can go to any place that has like paintball guns and does that kind of stuff. So like Dick's Sporting Goods, because they all use CO2 as well. Mm-hmm. Welding stores will usually have that because they use CO2. So any place, just Google like CO2 refills in my area, and you can go to those places. The best thing to do would obviously be going to like a beer and wine store, someplace that rents out kegs. But if you can't find that, go to Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that. You can Google like soda distributors. A lot of those places will have it as well. I found some here, but there's nothing like more than that's within 20 or 30 minutes of our house. So I'll probably just end up going over to Port Charlotte. I was hoping I'd find someplace local.
But we'll have to work it into, an errand day.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to go. I pulled out the things, and then I go over to that area, and then I forget them. Next one is from Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
Anybody have any clue to why my triglycerides would be 120, A1C 5.9 when I am very meat-heavy ketovore? Not looking for medical advice, but answers on where I can find answers. Thanks. There's a lot of things that can affect triglycerides. The number one thing is obviously going to be eating sugar. Sugar is going to cause your triglycerides to go up. Excessively overeating fat and excessively overeating combined with a lack of movement could help as well. But also, how long have you like really been eating a strict ketovore diet? Like how long? So those are the things you have to look at. 120 is high, but is actually in the normal range. Obviously, you want to bring it down, but under 150 is considered normal.
Well, and where were you before?
Right.
It's challenging when we don't have previous lab results sometimes, because you're like, I don't know how bad it got before it got to this point.
But some of the things you might want to look at if you have elevated triglycerides and you've been sticking to keto for a long time is taking a look at your stress management. Again, as we talked about earlier, because that can all affect your triglycerides because it brings inflammation. But taking a look at your stress management, hidden sugars and carbs that you don't even realize you're consuming, and then also quality of fats. Make sure you're not using seed oils and things like that. Next one is from Angie.
Hey, Angie.
Does anybody have a link for the Amazon 2KK compression clothes recommendations? I can't find it. So you love compression clothes.
I do love compression clothes, because as you're losing weight, there's going to be skin. There's just going to be skin. I feel like It does help with elasticity over time. Like it's your, your best chance for your skin. But it does help to have compression clothing. I wear compression undergarments that just help keep everything going, because I do have loose skin. Like that's just part of it. Some people in response to loose skin will pursue surgery to remove that. I've chosen not to do that thing. And so, yeah, I use compression undergarments.
So if you go to the description box of every one of our videos, or if you go to our website, you will see like our favorite Amazon products. That will take you to our Amazon store, which is literally where, when I remember to things that I like to add it in there. And so if we've talked about a lot, there is a section there that says compression clothes, and those are all of the compression undergarments that Rachel has bought or that I bought. Like I'll wear like the tank top ones. Undergarment
like an under t-shirt.
So not like regular shirts, but just things you can wear underneath it, and kind of like if you have a lot of loose skin, kind of put it in place and things like that. We find it really does help as you're losing weight to kind of force your body to put it in the place that you want to put it in. I don't think there's any shame in using things like Spanx and stuff like that. So those are the links. I do want to also just say, if you use our links, like our Amazon links or other ones, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help benefit the channel. Even if you click on that link, but then just go decide you're going to buy toilet paper or a camera, that does help benefit the channel, and we really do greatly appreciate it when you use those.
Thank you.
Last one we have is from Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
I had a dream during one of my micro sleeps. I was on the low carb cruise. Yes, I am going.
Yay.
And I ran into Rachel. I was so excited, but she was, less so. I find that hard to believe. Had somewhere else to be and refused to hug me. That will never happen. Self-esteem issue much? I woke up slightly traumatized and then realized there is no way that would happen. So be prepared. I totally intend to get my hug from the infamous hugger.
I'm telling you right now, if you are going on the low carb cruise and you do not want to be hugged, you're going to have to signal me. You're going to have to let me know, like, this is a no hug zone, because I'm coming in hot. I will say I do hug, but with permission. I tend to look for an indication that you're okay. Give him the wink. It's like that odd thing, especially with guys. Like, I am a hugger. You do like the bro hug, where one hand around the back, right? But some guys don't like that. And you kind of go in and then you get that awkward, and you're like, okay, now I feel like an idiot. So I tend to not go in for a hug unless I really know you. Like somebody like Terry D, I never have to go, can I hug you? Because we've known each other for years, and I can give a hug. But if I'm just meeting you, like if you come in for the hug first, I'm going to hug you back. But I'm generally not going to initiate it unless we've got a relationship or a history together. I hug everybody. You do. I get even when they don't want to be hugged. I get so excited, and what a funny from the 2KK cruise. I want to say Chris Miller was with us. Me and Megan was with us. And we were going into the conference room that we were going to be having for the cruise, just checking it out, like setting some stuff up with like welcome bags and everything, and waiting to receive people. And so when people come on the 2KK cruise, we're so excited. There's oftentimes new cruisers. There's oftentimes people that we have never met face to face before. So when someone approaches me in the conference room where we're supposed to be meeting, like we've told people to come, and the person's like, hi, I'm assuming they know me because we agreed to meet in this room, and now here I am and here you are, and you're trying to get my attention. And so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting to meet like a new friend face to face. And so this is what happened to me when we were setting up. I see this gentleman, he comes in and he looks like he's kind of trying to like talk to me, with like, hey, what's up? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, hi, who are you? And like, before I wait to get the answer, I'm in full embrace. Like, I'm making it weird, like rub the back, like it's a long hug. And he goes, I'm the casino manager of the cruise. And I was just wondering if we can like put this stuff here in this room. Would that be okay? Not with us, not expecting that some crazy lady was going to hug him. And yet, like, we shared a very warm embrace. And then I did not know what to do except for say like, well, maybe he just needed a hug.
Speaking of the low carb cruise, if you're going on a low carb cruise, would you be interested in us making a video on recommendations
for Alaska?
For Alaska, because we pretty much did the same exact itinerary last year, and we did it only going on one excursion, like organized, like sort of like an organized excursion.
We went places.
Everything else we did on a shoestring budget. And we had a lot of fun, and we can give you a lot of recommendations. Number one, on things to do in Alaska if you don't have an
what to bring,
book.
what to pack.
But also things you might want to bring, how to stay keto on the cruise. Should we make that video? Let us know down in the comments section. Also, before we do end it, I do want to just, again, give you a reminder. If you are in the Florida area, Central Florida area, May 3rd. Central Florida Ketos Meetup.
Reach out to them.
Reach out.
There is a Facebook
Mighty
page.
Network group, the Facebook page. You can go ask about it and get all of the details for that.
Yeah.
So that is going to be the end of today's Keto Beyond the Couch. Again, sorry that it's not live this week. We're going to do our best to be live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Have a great week, guys. We love you.
Bye.